Hello, Snugglebugs. Welcome to today's Whizbangs Workshop card review. We're looking at the Mage, little bit of Mage cards, where we're starting off strong here with the new Yogg in the box. So like Yogg's puzzle box, but Yogg in the box. We just cast 5 random spells, but if your deck has no minions, I'm actually kind of excited for this. A little worried, but kind of excited for Spell Mage, pure Spell Mage. The spells cast cost 5 or more. So this would always cast 5 or more random spells. Technically could probably cast Yogg in the box, but I know they've been trying to make it so they've been doing pretty good at making so you can't like discover spells or minions off of themselves. So hopefully they make it so you can't randomly cast Yogg in the box with Yogg in the box, because with a small pool of 5 mana spells, if that can happen, you'd end up in a pretty good thing, like a loop. Now I will say, compared to a lot of the other cast random spells, this does not say it targets your enemy if possible. So, like, very much Yogg-like, very, you could hurt yourself. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna be very biased. Love minions, like spell mage. I mean minion less mage. So like, I'm here for it. I'm gonna say it's good. Without it, I'd probably actually even being that strong. But yeah, 25 mana worth or more for 8. But it's random, so look out for that. Then we have Manufacturing Error, which is another no minion spell, which is a 6 mana, draw 3 cards, so obviously that's not good. But if your deck has no minions, they cost 3 less. So you effectively draw 3 cards. You get 9 mana discount as long as they're all 3 cost or higher. And so it's kind of like a -3, draw 3. But obviously it's overturned, so you have to upfront the 6, and if you draw spells you can't play, it's an expensive card, but really strong when it, like, when you can get it off, or because it's, if anything, if you don't play it, the fact it's in there, we're just looking at the Yogg in the box, this technically becomes one of those. So if it plays Manufacturing Error, you don't have any minions because you're playing Yogg in the box, you draw 3, they become cheap, and all of a sudden you're just like going through cycles of expensive spells and things like that. So whether or not you even play it, I think, is almost irrelevant. The fact it's going to exist is going to enable random spells to generate draw power for Mage, which is good. Well, it's a good card. It's up to you if you like that for Mage, Next up, we have Spot the Difference, which I think is in here, obviously, because it's the way that some of these minion or spell mages can get minions. So it's a 4 mana, get 2 3-cost minions effectively if you're playing this in the right deck. That's just it, right? It's not anything super special. I like the fact it gets you a copy. It's neat little art and all that kind of stuff. But 4 mana, get 2 3-cost minions. They won't have battle cries or anything, so you have to be careful what you summon. It's probably not super strong, but considering the deck it's going in, it might cost 1 if you draw it off that card we just looked at. So it's just a way to get some minions in a deck that obviously will not be playing minions naturally. So not super strong, but I think a necessary card. And if you made this 3 mana, it would be way too strong. So yeah, I think it's a balanced card. That's why I guess we'll get it. It's a balanced card. Then we have Frost Lich Cross Stitch. So Frost Lich Jaina's doing some knitting, which is a 5 mana spell. Frost, that could come in handy. Deal 4 damage to a character. If it dies, summon a 3/6 water elemental that freezes. So it summons a water elemental. Little boom. So it's like Frost Lich Jaina, who had the hero power, deal 1 damage, and if it kills something, summon a water ellie. But it's just built into a 5 mana package, so obviously it's a 4 mana minion. So you want to do 4 damage to a character. Now, doubtful that, but the fact it costs 5 mana, it could actually come into play with the Yogg's puzzle box and all that kind of stuff. Not that you'd probably kill things, but it just adds another free, like, potential 4 damage something, but you might hit yourself too, right? So I don't know. I think it's good. I don't know if this will see play, but again, it's another spell that you could try to help keep the board clean in a spell mage that also summons you a minion, which you don't have. So for that reason, it'll probably be played, but in non-minion mage, I don't think it's good enough. All right. Now, to be fair, we do see the reason I called out the Frost spell is because that usually means something. So we do have a 4 mana 4/4 battlecry, draw a Frost spell. At the start of your turn, reduce its cost by 1. So, I mean, 4 mana 4/4, draw a card that tutors. Good. I'll just say that right off the top. And if this does not die, then you can reduce its cost by 1 every turn. So it's a neat little idea, in my opinion. So you draw, say, this Frost Lich Cross Stitch. If this does not die, it becomes a 4 mana and then somehow 3 mana, etc. if you don't play it and this doesn't die. Obviously, this is likely to die, but if it doesn't, it's just like an added bonus. But this is a decently statted minion, right? Like a good normal line that we'd see is 4 mana, 4/5. So you drop 1 health to draw a card, which is really strong for effectively 1 health on a minion. So I think it's good. Again, I don't know, right? If this is going to see play just cause, but 4 mana, like I said, it'll see play somewhere. I guess I'm more excited about the Spell Mage, so I don't see it, but that could be just, like I said, my bias playing into it. Because we do have another elemental, which is the Miniaturize, which is Battlecry, freeze an enemy minion, and then gain armor equal to its attack. So that's really good. That's really good. And then the Miniaturized version does the same thing. So you can keep something frozen, you gain armor. Sorry, my dog was barking. Cute little buddy. He's just my cat. Sorry, I would normally go check, but I heard my cat meowing, and they get along, by the way. They just play, and they tend to run around the house. Sorry. So yeah, you get some double freeze, you get some heal. I'm guessing there's the elemental tag here, so you have your card, the legendary from before, that you could draw and split this, which I know sounds not great. But then all of a sudden you'd get 4 Battlecry freezes that gain you armor, and you could keep some things frozen for a long time, and that's always tons of fun for your opponent, but also gives you armor to live. And make sure freezing things and gaining the armor means that this could just be played in mage decks that are looking to keep things slow, to burn you out with, like, sadly Sif OTK style things. So I think this is a good card if you're playing minions. We have a 2 mana Discover a Secret, set its cost to 1, called Hidden Objects. I forget. There was a hidden... I thought it was Hidden Objects, but obviously I can't imagine they'd use the same name. But I'm thinking it was close. That was, I thought, draw a spell, it costs 0. This is Discover a Secret, set its cost to 1. So effectively it's still the same cost as Mage Secrets in total. It's 3 mana, but you get to sort of just discover the one of the options that suits your situation best. I think it's just good. Again, I think it's going to fit really well in Spell Mage, because then you can go, okay, what's my opponent doing right now, and sort of pick the secret based on that, so you can try to stop them from either playing minions or spells themselves, etc. So it's just really good. Nice, versatile secret mage. A lot of people don't like. I do, whether I play minions or not, I guess. We'll see, but yeah, I just think this is a really good card. It could be played in almost any mage, to be honest. Okay, another elemental, so I can see that they're going for more mage elemental package here. We have triple wick Trickster, a 4 mana 2/3 Battlecry, deal 2 damage to a random enemy 3 times. So it could go face, and doesn't say that it can't hit the same target. So technically this could be, if your opponent had 0 board, could be a 2 mana or a 2/3 with Fireball attached to it, but it could also help clear the board. Just a really good card. I mean, obviously the stats are not great, but considering, like I said, it kind of has Fireball, it's going to be one of those cards where it's like, yeah, if your opponent has a bunch of 3 health minions or things like that, it's going to just low roll. And but in general, I think dealing 6 damage attached to a 4-body minion is just fantastic. The elemental tag, I think, will come into play as well. So yeah, I think this is really good. This is a really good card. Okay, well, and then when I say last but not least, but I feel like there's one more card over here that I'll have to go click on, but we'll just do it this order to make it easier. We have the 10 mana legendary spell called the Galactic Projection Orb. The Galactic Projection Orb is recast a random spell of each cost you've cast this game and does target enemies if possible. So it is a random spell. So let's say you're playing, you might play this in other decks, but I'm just going to go with Spell Mage because that's what I'm going to play, I think. You cast 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9, all the way up to 10, if there is a costed spell for every cost at that point. I'm guessing it counts itself, just because it says that you've cast this game, which at this point you would have cast 10. It's going to cast 10 random spells, and it's going to cast them random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, I don't know if it's going to cast itself. However, there's not going to be too many 8 mana cost spells up front, so like there's a good chance the Galactic Projection Orb might cast the Yogg's Box, and that's going to cast more spells, and you might draw things. This is just fantastic. I'm very excited. I love the randomness. I love Spell Mage. I don't know why, but I do. I do know for a bit with Deck of Lunacy, it was a bit overpowered just because the spell at that time was because the spell pool was so low that you were converting your spells into like always getting big minion spells for cheap. So obviously that's different, but anyway, I'm looking forward to giving this a go here. And then last, I couldn't move over to it for some reason. I had to kind of click away and come back down. We have our other legendary, which is also kind of exciting, almost unfortunate that it's not a spell just because that does the same thing, but it is Puzzle Master Khadgar. So it's a new Khadgar, and it is a 6 mana, 5/5 battle cry. Equip a 0/6 Wisdom Ball that casts helpful mage spells. So it is, let me see, does it show us the picture of the wisdom? It does. So here's the wisdom ball. And this is at the end of your turn, cast a helpful mage spell, and then you lose 1 durability. I believe the way it was understood by me is what they mean by helpful mage spell isn't just necessarily here's your spells, which I'll go over those in a second. I gotta move, maybe, can I move this a touch? Sorry, I just want you to be able to see it all. There we go. It was just down a touch, too much. But it's not just going to cast them, but it's going to act kind of like Zephyrus or any of those cards. It's supposed to be able to sort of read the board state and the life state and cast a spell that fits your needs. So like we have Polymorph, Arcane Missiles. This is from Polymorph. Mirror Image, so if you need taunts, I guess. Oh wait, that's the Mirror Image itself. But it could cast the spell, Mirror Image, Frostbolt, Arcane Intellect, Fireball, Counterspell, Ice Barrier, or Blizzard. So again, I'm guessing it's like if your opponent has a board you need to freeze, it'll Blizzard. If it has like one single target, it'll know to polymorph it for you. Mirror Image, I can't imagine why I would ever cast Mirror Image, to be honest, over almost anything else. But if you need draw, your opponent has a lot of health, your opponent's almost dead, it might fireball them, and that kind of thing. Now, I don't, it doesn't say that it targets randomly, so like if your opponent had 5 health, my assumption is this would be smart enough to just fireball them in the face. Again, I don't know why Frostbolt would necessarily ever get played. I guess a single target minion. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see, but like I don't know the logic behind some of these. Like Arcane Missiles, can't see why I would ever shoot Arcane Missiles. I guess if you had a lot of spell damage or something, Arcane Missiles would work pretty good, maybe. But not 100% sure. But either way, this could be a lot of fun. I like the idea of it. Again, in less spell mage, it's like a battle cry mage style thing. And it's just a neat idea, right? You get some random stuff, potentially random or less random, but not controlled. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are from the mage cards in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.